Hey everyone, Wanderbot here, and welcome to episode 7-2, the kind of post-commentary, what we missed on the previous episode because we failed post-com, or we failed to record my own audio, and whatnot. So what's going on right now is I'm trying to decide between South Africa and China, because they're both at panic level 3, and the rewards were kind of important. I ended up going with South Africa because we needed the engineers. Now right now I'm giving McGeezax and Waffle Dong both the stun guns, because I want to capture us some aliens, because, well, we need to. So, starts off pretty much in kind of the abandoned construction area, and no aliens in sight. Not really surprising. There's also a bunch of meld all over the place, so it's kind of, well, I guess there's only two. I think there are always only ever two. I've never actually confirmed if there's more than that, but, you know, kind of a high priority considering it only doesn't, well, it doesn't last very long. And right off the bat, find a pair of sectoids. Not really that big of a deal. I'm just gonna snipe one right off the bat. Honestly, sectoids are probably the nicest thing to run across whenever you're doing, you know, an XCOM run, because it's like, oh, it's just sectoids. Like, thin men can be frustrating because, you know, they can hit you, they usually have long range, they explode into poison clouds and move fast. They also kind of come out of nowhere. But, you know, sectoids, they're the cannon fodder of the XCOM universe. It's kind of enjoyable fighting them. So right now I'm just kind of flanking them, grabbing the meld, getting close, that kind of business. Now, ideally, I want to get one of my guys up close and personal to stun one of them. And unfortunately, I have one of the Unces hiding over on the right. She was going to, but when it comes down to it, she doesn't have a stun gun anyway, so I have to bring in McGeezax or one of the other guys. Unfortunately, if you notice, some of the squid machines just showed up. So at this point, I'm backing everybody off, because I really don't want to leave anybody out in the open for when, you know, one of the squid machines shows up, because that's how I'd lose a soldier. So we've taken out all but one of the sectoids, which means it's pretty much a perfect time to get in there. And since Core, or whomever that was, okay, yeah. So he's got a stun gun, he just needs to get closer, and I'm going to have him hunkered down so, you know, he doesn't get hit. Of course, he's not even the one that was getting shot at. So now I have, shoot. Honestly, at this speed, it's hard for me to remember everybody's names, but essentially Core and the other person are just hiding along the corner. I think that's Sebastian SB. There we go, we just captured the sectoid. But I have them hunkering down over here so they can bait out the not the sectoids, the squids, and there we go. Of course, I had her on Overwatch, and the thing was on the other side of the wall. I didn't even know it went through the construction thing. Things you only notice in post-commentary. But, of course, Core is now being strangled, so kind of important we take him out, and we take the alien off. Now, because I have everybody with stun guns, my tactic right now is actually to just have Core sit around for a little while, and take his lumps. Because apparently the squid machines can't actually strangle you multiple rounds in a row. They have some kind of internal cooldown, which gave me enough time to get up close and try and stun these guys. Unfortunately, it looks like you can't stun the squid machines, which wasn't immediately obvious to me. So I blew up the squid machine after a little bit of just like, why can't I hit this thing with a stun gun? And, you know, then begins the hunt for the other squid machine, because they're invisible. How are you going to find them? I have no idea. I guess listening for noise, maybe. Except for, you know, then a couple of floaters show up, so, you know, suddenly we have two more guys to shoot at, and missing squid somewhere. It's completely unaccounted for, and I have no idea where it's going to show up. So at this point, goal is take them out, but ideally get McGeezax or Waffle Dong in there with a stun gun, and capture one, because I'd very much like to get my hands on a floater. You'd think at point blank range we'd be able to hit that floater in the face. Not so much so. However, for some reason the 50% chance to hit with the stun gun did actually succeed there, which I'm pretty happy about, because that means we can just finish off the other floater and move on from there. Unfortunately, that Unce was kind of in a terrible spot, but apparently that floater had awful aim too. So I guess just we're trying to hit it. We did 3 damage to it. The Unce did. And it's just kind of like everybody misses. This is XCOM. So now, I don't think any other aliens are going to pop up. It's just the question of, where did that other squid machine go? So I split everybody up into 2 different teams, and I'm having them move around. Of course, that Unce was out of ammo, so can't really do any good from that angle. Or not angle, from that level of limitation. I think that's Waffle Dong. Or Firaxis McGee's. I'm not entirely sure. But essentially, I baited the squid machine out, and then, you move the entire team in, and shoot it. Because you can't capture it. I think this is another point where I'm trying to not kill it immediately. I was going to have her shoot around the corner, but it didn't end up working. Oh, I guess she did run and gun. So now it's off of him, and here's where I start trying to do the stun gun. Again, because I really want to stun one before realizing you can't stun the artificial enemies. I think the alien mech is the only other one. So, Core got promoted, Unce got promoted, and Waffle Dong got promoted. So, also Core was wounded, and McGee's was wounded. Now, I give Core, I believe I give him covering fire. So, I think so. I probably should have gotten him Sprinter, actually, come to think of it. But I believe I gave him covering fire, considering I want everybody to work as a team as opposed to anything else. I gave Unce the defensive one, largely because, survivability is more important than doing some critical damage. I gave the last guy, which I think was McGee's run and gun, the default. We also got, as part of loot, we got a plasma pistol and a light plasma rifle, as well as, weapon fragments, sectoid corpses, and various other corpses. And we also get access to the workshop, which is maybe convenient, maybe not. I don't know. It's just going to make things cheaper, which could be useful, but we have limited space, which is kind of frustrating. And we also get 4 engineers for the entire thing. We also got, we also completed the Seeker Autopsy, which gives us the respirator, the ghost grenade, the mimetic skin, and yes, there is this whole description here, which I'd read if I could, but unfortunately, the text is just a little bit small. But so the respirator makes it so it's like an armor attachment, but essentially you put it on, and if your guy's getting strangled, it will prevent them from being so. Ghost grenade, the other thing, is a grenade that you can chuck and turns your guys invisibles, but the moment they start shooting, they become visible again. And last one is mimetic skin, which makes it so if you have a soldier under high cover, the enemies won't go for them in the slightest, which could potentially be really useful for, a sniper, or like a specific class that I want to do something with. So if, say, I wanted to have a guy going in close with a stun gun, that could be useful. And lastly, we also have a sectoid to interrogate. So that's it, and on to the, I guess, continuation of episode 7-1.
So, how'd it go, Doctor?
Better than expected. Before the creature expired, I was able to extract some new information from it.
You're saying that thing spoke to you?
Not precisely, but when you have access to a creature's brain, certain patterns can be discerned, recent images and thoughts.
And what exactly was our late friend thinking about?
This particular image appeared in the creature's thought patterns several times throughout the procedure.
We've already met that thing, Doctor. This is hardly the kind of breakthrough we were...
And there was a neural link in the creature's mind between this image and this one.
That's the thing that pulled a disappearing act when we shot down our first UFO. And let me guess, you want to poke around in its head too.
It is the next piece of the puzzle. And this time, instead of shooting it, I suggest we try to capture it alive.
Okay, so, new research. I was afraid it was going to crash again. Apparently, if we can interrogate an outsider, cool things will happen. But if I remember right, that brings us on to, like, stage 2 of the game, and things get harder. And considering I'm not a competent player, especially on classic difficulty, we're going to have some serious trouble. Anyway, so, our interrogation of the small alien captive was a learning experience for all parties involved. Although traditionally an interrogation would imply a discussion of sorts, perhaps under coercion, that possibility was out of the question, given these circumstances. We're instead forced to undertake a more aggressive approach, namely through a series of invasive cranial probes inserted into the subject's prefrontal cortex. By interpreting the captive's responses to various stimuli, we were able to discern a great deal of information, more so than I originally anticipated. Although it seemed to have little understanding of the various modifications it had been subjected to at some point in the past, we did garner some information relating to the aliens, miniaturized implants, and power cells used in their weaponry. We've already begun analyzing this data for possible incorporation into future advanced weapon prototypes, including several power-intensive beam weapons. So we get beam weapons now, and we can research a butt ton of things if we really want to. Nav computer wouldn't be bad. Skeleton suit. That'd take a while. So really, our options are beam weapons. Yeah, works for me. Also, we could do some autopsies, which is tempting, but I want beam weapons first, just for the extra damage. I think.
We should be focused on capturing this strange alien creature, the one that seemed to form around the crystal we discovered when we shot down the first UFO. It's all we have to go on at the moment.
Okay, so that's it for research. Let's scan for activity. Except for, technically I put all of this at the beginning of the episode, so we're gonna, I guess, keep dealing with research until we find the mission that I'm going to put at the beginning of the episode. Greet you guys then, and then we'll continue. So laser pistol and laser rifle available for manufacture. So we can make these two. Probably should have read the description. Whoops. Oh well. And apparently we can make precision lasers. It's tempting. Or heavy lasers. Also tempting. Precision. What does this do? Adapt technologies. Either that or... Actually, you know what? I'm going to do a Thin Man autopsy just because these guys are kind of dangerous to us.
The tall one has, up until this point, been unofficially referred to as the Thin Man. Initial testing has revealed a concerted effort by the aliens to modify this specimen's genetic structure in such a way as to make it appear human. However, on closer inspection, they seem to have had some trouble concealing the eyes, which appear to be reptilian in nature.
Thin Man autopsy research complete. Let's see. Gas grenade available for manufacture. Muscle fiber density available in gene lab. We need to make the gene lab, whatever. So the subject's external appearance is that of a Caucasian male. I guess its age to be approximately 35 years old, although it's quite likely this is an artificial effect intentionally affixed by the aliens, not asphyxiated. The specimen is roughly 2 meters in height and weighs just over 80 kilograms. Despite its outward appearance, upon dissection, the creature's unique organ and bone structure is revealed to be distinctly alien in nature. The subject's bones are segmented, rather like the vertebrae of a serpent. The segmentation structure appears to give the creature a spectacular range of motion in combat. It is possible, through our own genetic modification program, that we may be able to replicate the unique connective tissues that allow for this remarkable flexibility. If successful, our soldiers should see drastic improvements in their physical mobility and resilience. A large portion of the specimen's thoracic cavity is devoted to enormous glands capable of producing a toxin that is then expelled via ducts with considerable force. After a thorough chemical analysis of the subject's venom, we have theorized that it could be used as a powerful disinfectant to treat our soldiers' injuries in the field. Dr. Shen is working to develop a means to integrate this substance into our existing medkits for future deployment. Targeting another example of this specimen in the field using the unit analysis view may reveal further details about its distinctive combat abilities. Unit analysis view? I guess maybe if I just look at it. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, so we get the gas grenade, muscle fiber density, confers superhuman leg strength, enable the soldier to reach high positions without the need for ladders or other climbing aids. Guess, Vitus, you're getting that. Anyway, I'd love to research the light plasma rifle, considering we actually own one. However, that would take like a whole month. So what we want to do is autopsy one of these guys quick, because that's...
Based on what we've seen in the field so far, including several grotesque examples of trauma resulting from the emergence of its young, we've taken to calling this specimen a chrysalid.
That's important, largely because chrysalids hurt. And maybe if we had some kind of combat advantage against them, that would be really nice, because they can pretty much insta-gib anybody, and they move really freaking fast. Anyway, what else do we got? I don't think we can build anything. Engineering.
Suspicions may have been true after all. They're not just here for abductions. They have something else in mind.
Yeah, we need more power and money. Great. What can I afford? Power generators. Can I get more power? What is my power anyway? Oh, shoot. Yeah, I'm almost out of power. I guess we already had that one built, I think. Power generator. Yeah, we're poor. We need to get some cash quick. Unfortunately, we have no good way of doing that without doing a mission, and it seems like it's just throwing super hard missions at us. Great.
Commander, there's a Priority 1 transmission coming in from the Council. I'm sure the troops will be eager to get out there and even up the body count.
Interesting. A member of the Triad criminal organization has reached out to one of our contacts. Although we have little interest in the man himself, he allegedly has in his possession a piece of unique technology. We'll need you to investigate. We'll transmit further details to the Central. So, I guess that's what we're doing on the next episode of XCOM Enemy Within. Time to go shoot some actual people. Maybe. Not entirely sure. Probably. So, I guess I'll see you guys then, and as always, thanks for watching.